Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm just getting into my outlook for this week. Apologies for not doing the video last week. I just been really busy with work and stuff and life. So I wasn't able to get a video out last week. I didn't even do a recap because there wasn't really much trading activity for me. Same with yesterday. I didn't do a recap yesterday, but that was purely because I was really busy. But you know, I did take a couple. I might do like a midweek recap or something to just go through the trades that I did take so far for the month. It's been a really slow month for me. Just markets for me just hasn't really been any kind of clear trend direction. Most of the pairs have just been kind of ranging. So not really much to kind of go through on the outlook, to be fair, but you know, I'll just kind of identify what I'll be looking for and just kind of see what opportunities might present themselves. All right, so as usual, I've already gone through the pairs. I've cleared my charts of most of my old drawings just to kind of have a fresh start. So I'll just kind of go through and talk you guys through what I'm seeing. All right, so on AUDCHF, the first pair here will be AUDCHF. So basically we had last impulsive break of structure a few months ago, back in February, was right here, right here. Upon breaking these highs, we had a kind of mini high just here, a little accumulation phase, and then you know, we had that breakout from the block. So price is currently slowly retraced back to that area, and it's currently just kind of been sitting there ranging, right, for a few, I guess for a few weeks. I've been looking at this for a while just to kind of see what will probably happen from here. For me to get involved, I'd want to see, because I'm going to be looking for long opportunities, right? So for me to get involved, what I'd like to see is just a shift back into some uptrend structure, and I'd like to probably see that on the lower time frames. So this is that zone here on the lower time frames, right? And you can see even on the 1 hour time frame, we've just kind of been ranging, you know, since kind of, when was that, 21st of May. So what I really want to see is a kind of impulsive move, clearly kind of breaking out, right? A nice impulsive breakout, right? However it happens, just a nice strong move to the upside, and then probably try to get in on a retest of some broken highs, maybe these broken highs here or these broken highs, depending on what price action does, and then start to look for that continuation. So that's what I'll be looking for off of this zone on the lower time frames, if I'm to be looking for continued upside, right, or that kind of continuation into that uptrend, right? However, so that's scenario 1 on the lower time frames, but equally what I'd also kind of be looking for is, I mean, which I probably wouldn't, I don't know, it depends, right? It depends on how it happens. But if we get a nice strong push lower, so if we get a nice strong push lower on the daily time frame, breaking past these current lows, sticking with this current kind of downtrend market structure here, nice strong close beneath, I'd probably look for a retest entry and then look for continuation, right? Maybe back down to these previous lows just here. So you know, something like that is something I'll be interested in as well, but it depends on what price does, right? If we get a nice strong move lower, then that's what I'll be looking for. AUDJPY. So on this pair, I don't know, right? So we kind of seeing signs of exhaustion here on that in the uptrend that we've been forming for quite some time. And we're failing to break this kind of resistance high, right? So if you kind of just identify this high here, right? We kind of tried to push past it, but you know, failed to do that on the daily, right? We've never had that. We kind of had a spike above, and since then we've just kind of been tapping the resistance area, and you know, failing to break out. But we've also been forming higher lows in that process, right? So that kind of resulted in this tightening of price. So what I'll be interested in seeing here is what price does. I think it's an interesting point as it is. I'm not going to be convinced in shorts just yet. For me to get short, I'd like to see, you know, obviously a nice strong signal of intent, like a nice strong bearish move, then a slow retracement back to some broken lows, maybe these broken lows here or something, and then probably look for continuation for that kind of reversal in the trend. But that needs to purely be based on price action and momentum. So I'll have to see that strong shift in momentum, right? Equally, for me to get into buys, I'd like to see impulsive break and close above this area of resistance on the daily time frame. So a nice daily close above, retracement back, back to the level, show some rejection, and then look for continuation. Right, so that's what I'll be looking at on this pair. Obviously, for long opportunities, I'll look for long opportunities on the lower time frames once we get that daily close above. But for that shift into maybe into a reversal, I'd like to see that signal of intent on the higher time frame. CHFJPY. So this one is also kind of interesting. It's showing signs of exhaustion, especially in the last week or couple of weeks, right? So the highs I'm looking at here is obviously these highs. These highs here. That's where price kind of tapped out, right? So if I just kind of hit a ray on those highs, right? So we kind of had that double top scenario happen, right? So we had the initial high form, we had a pullback, tried to push lower, right? So it came back and it tested these highs here, this kind of miniature zone, right? So it kind of retested this area and then tried to push higher again, but it as of now it failed to break higher. And if I just look at the RSI, you can see right where we formed this high here, we formed this peak, right? And currently, based on this high, we currently have that kind of lower high on the RSI. So we actually having some regular divergence forming here. So it still obviously remains to be seen if we're gonna have that break lower. So if price impulsively, from where it is now, impulsively breaks past these lows, breaks past these previous highs, we're strong, with a nice strong momentum move, then maybe I'll look for that formational downtrend structure and start getting involved in some shorts. But for now, what I'll be waiting to see is a nice clear impulsive break of the current highs. A nice impulsive break and close above on the daily time frame. So a nice break and close above on the daily time frame, then a retest with rejection of the highs, and then look for continuation. Right, Euro AUD. All right, so on this one, we're still kind of stuck into this kind of corrective, kind of trickily uptrend. And we broke this most recent downtrend, right? And I don't know, it kind of looks like a flag formation, like a corrective flag formation for continuation in the future, at least on the higher time frames here. But for now, we are forming uptrend structure, right, on the daily time frame. So what I'm looking at on the daily is just we had these previous lows here, right? Formed support here, broke through, tested it as resistance, tested it as resistance, resistance again, resistance again, resistance again, and then it finally broke through a couple of weeks ago, right, at the kind of mid-May. And now it's kind of pulling back into the level. Maybe it might form a confluence with the trend line. I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure that's probably a nice fib level as well. So from this low, these lows to that high, yeah. So that's going to be between the 50% and the 618, which is perfect for me. So yeah, I'll be looking at this level. If price does correct into this level, I'll just wait for some rejection of the level if it does happen. All right, so if it does kind of push lower and we get some kind of rejection here at the level, then I'll just look for continuation, trade it back to these previous highs. Equally, we might just have an impulsive break lower, which is fine. If that does happen, then I'll just wait for probably a retest and look for continuation lower. But for now, my bias is still probably long opportunities because we have that uptrend structure still in place. EURCAD. So yeah, nothing here. I've been trying to get short on this one for a long time because of this. I just want to see price kind of return to that point of origination, which I've been saying for some time. But it's just been, I had one opportunity somewhere around here which I missed. And then since then, you know, we did have that continuation. We broke the lows, but price has just been stuck in this range, and it's never really given me an entry opportunity. Something I might be interested in, if it does set up, is probably a test of the range highs. All right, so if we have another test of the range highs, so anywhere kind of anywhere between these kind of blue lines, right? If we kind of have price pull back into these highs, then I'll be willing to risk a short opportunity and then look for that entry reason to get short and trade it back down to these previous lows. Equally, if that does not set up, right, which I don't know if it will, but I just need to be prepared. If that does not set up, then the only real clear opportunity would be a break of these lows, right? So a nice clear impulsive break past these lows. So kind of this zone here, right? So anywhere just past these previous lows here. I'll obviously take into consideration that wick, but you know, anywhere kind of between that kind of area, right? We should drop to the lower time frame. Yeah, so just anywhere kind of between this area, right? Break past these lows here, hopefully impulsively, right? So a nice impulsive break past the lows, then a retracement back, and then look for continuation from there. All right, so that's what I'll be looking for if it sets up on the lower time frames, and you know, obviously if it doesn't push higher up to my level. All right, EURCHF. So on this one, so this one's actually at the level right now. So I've been waiting on this for quite some time. So we had that bullish breakout here, that nice impulsive move higher, breaking past these previous highs. We have this little trend line here also in play, and price slowly has been retracing back to the level, right? I think I did analysis on this way back here, and I just kept moving this because it took so long for it to actually get back to the level, but it's back at the level now. So what I'll be waiting for is a clear sign of rejection here on the higher time frame. So I'd like to probably see a nice rejection wick on the daily time frame or bullish engulfing candle at the level. If that does happen, then I'll just look for that shift in structure on the lower time frames, and then look to get involved in some long opportunities here, right? So once I get a nice entry reason, then I'll be trading this ideally back to these previous highs. So that'll be a nice swing opportunity for me. So yeah, so I'll be waiting for this. Hopefully it sets up over the next couple of days. Obviously if it does kind of impulsively break lower, then obviously the zone is no longer valid for me. But yeah, so I'll just be keeping an eye on that this week. GBPCAD. So on this pair, so we had price, so this was the last structural low here on the daily time frame that was broken, right? So this support level just here was broken impulsively, and price slowly kind of came back to the level, but it's kind of just been ranging, right? It's like really messy price action here on the daily time frame. So for me to probably trade this, I think this is still a valid trading level for me. You know, it didn't impulsively break back above, although it's been messing around at the level. So I want to, if I am to trade this, I'll play it very safe. So for me, my strategy for trading this would be off of like the lower time frames. I'll look for that shift in structure back into some downtrend structure. So we already kind of had that test of the level, right? We've been testing it for, you know, quite a few candles. So I don't know, you know, I want to play this really safe if I'm to trade it. And for me to trade it, I will want to see, because we already had that kind of bearish engulfing candle engulfed all of this price action here on the 1 hour time frame. So what I'd like to see is from here, probably want to see that shift in structure, right? So break past these lows here. That would be a last previous lows, hopefully impulsive, a nice impulsive break, and then look for that retracement back, get some rejection here, and then look for continuation, right? So if we just look here, so we got your low, your high. Once this high is broken, this becomes your low, right? So this is your high. So once this low is broken and we have that structural break there, that's probably going to be the trading level for me, as long as it's broken impulsively, right? it's not the clearest setup, but I think there might be some pretty decent opportunity here because of this type of price action that we're seeing, right? You know, and who knows, right? It might also be kind of forming this kind of bearish flag formation, right? So yeah, continuation flag, right? So something like this, a nice flat flag, and then continuation. All right, so I'll be willing to risk a short opportunity there as long as I see a nice clear entry indication on the lower time frames. All right, GBPJPY. So this one's kind of interesting, right? So we currently had a test of these previous daily structure highs, right? If my magnet doesn't stop playing up. Yeah, so we currently had that retest and rejection of these highs here on the daily time frame. On the lower time frames, right? So this is very interesting to me, right? So this is the zone here on the daily time frame, right? And I think I don't know if it was last week, whenever it was. I think I took a trading opportunity here, right? This was my entry candle. And then price took me out on break even here with this big bearish candle just here. So I think I entered somewhere here, moved my stops to break even at 1 hour, and then it took me out here on this candle. And it broke beneath, but then straight away it broke back above, right? And this zone here is quite clearly defined, right? So these are your lows here, right? Obviously these are the highs here on the daily. So this, I don't know if it's like to me it looks like a kind of spring setup, right? So we had a nice clear defined zone, nice liquidity grab, taking out all these stops here, grabbed a ton of orders with this big bullish candle here, wiping out all this price action, and it's currently coming back to test these highs, right? So I'll be paying attention to this week. May look at this on market open to see if I wouldn't trade it exactly on market open. Obviously I'll need to get a nice clear entry reason, but yeah, this level looks pretty interesting to me, and I'll be willing to probably go long here, maybe at market open once things kind of calm down, as long as I get a nice entry reason. GBPNZD. So on this one, if I just jump to the daily time frame, so we're currently at this level of resistance, right? So we had a high here, formed a higher low, another high, higher low, another high. I'm just gonna look for this continuation to happen here, right? So I want to see a nice continuation of that bullish price action. If that does happen, we get a nice close above the level, right? Then I'll look for a slow retest of the level, which would be these previous highs, get some rejection, and then look for continuation. You know, it's kind of, I mean, largely we've just kind of been stuck in this range, but more recently on the daily time frame we've been in this clear bullish structure, right? So just looking to capitalize on that and look for continuation. NZDCAD. All right, so this one's pretty simple. We forming a nice level of support here, right? A nice strong level. We've had current price action being very bearish, lower highs, lower lows, right? So all I'm looking for here would be a nice impulsive move lower, breaking past these previous lows, a nice daily close beneath. Look for that retracement with rejection, and then look for continuation. NZDCHF, which I think is the last pair. All right, so this one's kind of set up very similarly to I think it was AUDCHF. Yes, yeah, so very similarly to AUDCHF, right? But in this instance, we already had a break past the structural level, right? We broke past that structural level there, which lines up in the past as well, right? So we broke past this previous structure here, and we broke past it very impulsively. So all I'll be waiting for here on the lower time frames is a nice slow retest, right? So a nice pullback into these broken lows. I'll obviously be paying attention to these lows here. These lows here are the major lows here of interest for me. So as long as we get a nice retest of the level with rejection, entry reason, and then look for continuation, right? And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. unfortunately, the market's just been really slow and really choppy for the last couple of weeks, which tends to happen from time to time, especially during the summer periods when, you know, all the big institutions are closed off. So, you know, we just need to be patient and manage risk and all of that good stuff. And hope to kind of survive the choppy waters, right? And hopefully good times will come again. Some nice trends will kick off after all of this consolidation. Cool. Well, as usual, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And if you like what you see and you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. And if you think these videos will be useful to anyone else who's trying to get involved in trading, then obviously just feel free to share the videos with them. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.